Hey, I'm Judy Carter, and welcome to DVD 2. And this is where we are going to show you how not to bomb, how to avoid being really hack, how to connect with the audience, perform, and rock the room for your showcase that I know you've got on your calendar. So you finished DVD 1, and hopefully you got a lot of jokes on index cards, and you might be worrying, oh, though, I don't know, I'm not funny, I suck. I got eczema. Well, don't worry, that's perfectly normal, except for the eczema, that's really weird. But don't worry, because I'm going to show you how to take your jokes and pump up the humor and make them funny. Now, DVD 1 helped you get an act, and that's usually where beginners stop. This DVD is for comics who really want to get good and kill. It's going to make you work harder. It's going to get you past getting the easy hack laughs and ask you to dig deeper and keep going and get the really good stuff that I know is inside of you. Now, just know, if you're having a hard time, that's normal too, because material just doesn't come out of you perfectly. Nobody gets a comedy special based on the first jokes that they write. It's all about reworking material, rewriting, tweaking, and sleeping with the right people. Well, duh. But don't get too attached to the jokes you write, because this is where we are going to change them. So let's see what mistakes you're making, and we can catch them and fix them right now so you don't bomb later. So come on into the workshop and let's see what the students have come up with. A lot of it's going to be hack, so it's time for a comedy check.
Do you know what's weird about LA and New York? And in New York, everybody rides the subway, and out here, everybody rides cars. And I mean, it's much better to ride cars out here because it's, you know, it's better than being under somebody's armpit.
We've mentioned hack before in DVD 1, but what is hacked? Well, you know it when you see it, don't you? It's something we already know. Yes, men and women, boy, they are different, and so is LA and New York. Avoid cliches and come up with some really original observations.
Well, I was in this gay bar the other day, and then this girl came up to me, and she was like, you know, well, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing fine. How are you doing? And then she was like, and then she said that, you know, like,
yeah, I'm
wow,
in this
you have
comedy
really
class.
Nice eyes.
Yeah,
and I
it ain't
said,
funny,
like,
but I'm missing the
you
class.
know,
Yeah, I'll call you back.
thanks. You have really nice eyes too.
Yes, and then I did, and then, oh, somebody wake me up when it's over. Where's the payoff? I got to tell you, people, I've said it like so many times, but don't tell stories unless you've broken them up into, you know, setup and payoff. You know, when you tell a story back and forth, you're not a comic, you're a playwright, you know, and if you find yourself saying, so then I, you're telling a story, and you'll quickly find out on stage that stories work, they're funny at a party, but they don't work on stage unless you break them into premises and act outs. So if you're telling a story, you'll inevitably end up.
This is so funny because it really happened, and I happened to write this on the way over. Anyway, you know, the other day, my mom called me, and she wanted to tell me what she had for dinner, and it was like sex. It was so weird. She was just going on and on about.
I know all those things that happen to you are really, really funny, but stories don't have setup, and they take a long time. And I know my students say, but this has really happened, but we talked about that before. That doesn't make it funny. You know, really happened, anyone can do. Anybody can say it really happened. But to really do something with it, to really add a mix, a great setup that takes the audience in one direction and then turns them around, that takes talent. Just describing something is not going to get you great jobs or great material. Besides, how are you going to then write material? You know, you have to wait for something to happen because you can only do jokes about something that really happened, so if that day nothing happens to you, you can't write any material. How about adding some creativity? You know, you want to tell a story, rent a theater, and then do your own show. here are some things to avoid. Avoid using props. First of all, when you're traveling on gigs, you want to use carry-on. You don't have to like, yeah, bring the TV set here that I'm taking. No, avoid using props. And besides which, if your gadgets are funnier than you are, you've got a problem.
These aren't tits, they're watermelons.
All right, let's talk about blue material. I get so many hack comics who, tell a joke and they go, so I was with this and the they said to me, oh, you I was woman in her and the other day I wanted to take my and shove it up her, but then she said, I took it that way yesterday. I want to say to that person, you're a Jew from the San Fernando Valley. You don't talk like that. I mean, look, this is the thing about blue language. I don't think there's anything wrong with it if it's authentic for you. If that's the way you talk all the time, that's fine. But I see, so many people just using that because they don't have material. Shock words are no substitute for good material. And the other thing is I find offensive is graphic material, like anything coming out a hole. Take that out from your act. Anything dripping out of a hole, gas form out of a hole, any kind of form. People are eating nachos in a comedy club. They're trying to have a nice night. Don't ruin it for them. And another thing about blue material, if you really are clear about your career vision, and we'll talk about that in DVD 3, avoid using blue language because it will only limit the amount of work you can get, not increase it. Another thing is to avoid cliches, and let's talk especially about women. Women comics seem to be obsessed with, my breasts are so small, I'm so fat. Everyone say, shut up, you're a size 10, you don't even know from fat. Enough of your body, there's a world out there, there's wars going on, there's things outside your body. Talk about them. Insecurities about women's bodies have been done to death. Okay, so open your eyes to a bigger world than your tits and your hips.
Is it always bad to do impressions or hacky to do impressions?
There's nothing hacky about impressions as long as you set them up. If you have a great premise, do it. Set it up. Here's what Angela Hoover does. She sets up about how hard it was having this day job, where she worked in this talent agency as a receptionist, and she had problems because celebrities would call and she just naturally would imitate them. Great setup, great joke.
And what would happen is the celebrities started calling up saying that I was making fun of them. And I so wasn't. It's just that I pick up accents, and dialects really easily. So Drew Barrymore would call. Law offices. Oh, hey, Drew. Yeah, he's here, but he's on the phone. You what? No, I can hear you. I just can't understand what you're saying. No, I'm saying I can understand you, okay? I just can't. Okay, well, you don't have to get an attitude with me. I'm trying to help you, okay? I'm getting another call. You're going to have to hold. Thank you. Law offices. Oh, hey, Penelope. Yeah, he's here. He's on the phone. What? No, you're not interrupting anything. I just don't know if you can come to the phone right now. Well, it's hard to understand you too. I just keep hearing banana something, banana.
Wow, that is so great. Angela not only does impressions incredibly well, she's a great writer-performer, because what she's not doing is going, look how talented I am. I'm going to do this impression and then that impression.